Today I'd like to talk about why the iPad mini 6 has become my favorite iPad. You see, I've had the Pro iPads, and the conflict I've had with them is that even though they've gotten larger, they've gotten more powerful, we're really forcing it to be a computer with being able to do every single thing that we could possibly imagine, keyboards, external hard drives, etc. But due to the limitations of iPad OS, it's just not possible that it can become a computer for me. You see, for me, I'd like it to be an extension of my desktop, a place where I could have my favorite editing app like Final Cut Pro, but be able to use touch inputs, be able to do things on a smaller screen in a much more portable form factor. So I stepped away, gave up on the Pro iPads, and got myself the iPad mini 6. This iPad mini 6 reminded me of what the iPad should be. The iPad is just a portable extension of when you don't want to use something as large as a MacBook, and you don't want to be confined to a desk space, and at the same time you don't want to be confined to the limitations of whichever iPhone that you have. So you have this larger portable device that you can hold in your hand that can allow you to do all the things that you love, like reading, watch videos, movies, web browsing, whatever you'd like to do, and still be capable enough. And this iPad mini 6 is fully capable of all of that. Now, my favorite thing about the iPad mini 6 is the fact that it's got the perfect size. The perfect size in the sense that the screen is big enough without being too large, but at the same time, it's great to hold in the hand. And that, I believe, is something that we've forgotten about in trying to turn the iPad into this whole computer system on the go. We've forgotten about how nice it is to just pick up an iPad that is a comfortable size, read your favorite article or your websites, watch your videos, movies, whatever it may be that you want to do, and just enjoy it in a comfortable form factor. I love being able to just take this into bed with me, read a few things before I go to sleep, or watch a few things before I go to sleep. It's perfect. And the size alone is what I love most about it. Now, the size of the iPad mini 6 is also what makes it ultra portable, which is something I absolutely love. It either goes with me in my 14-inch MacBook Pro's laptop sleeve. It's slim enough, small enough to tuck right into it. But if I'm not carrying my MacBook, then I simply just carry this out the door when I leave. It goes into my door compartment in my car, and it hangs out there until I need it for whatever it may be. Sometimes I need to look at files that are on my desktop. This has iCloud Drive. Now, I only have the Wi-Fi variant, and that is simply because I either use the hotspot on my phone, or the Wi-Fi at home, or the Wi-Fi in my car, and those are able to help me get done anything that I need done when on the go. Now, the next thing I like to talk about is performance. Now, I've tried everything from editing videos to playing games to browsing. Not once since I've had this iPad mini 6 has this ever struggled. I've never seen it have a hiccup. That's the best way I can give an explanation to you as to how the performance on this iPad mini 6 is. It's absolutely fine. I'm not doing anything that is really intensive to where I'd need an iPad Pro with an M1 chip or something, right? So this has been able to handle everything. And I really think that, when I was in college, I really wanted a MacBook. I saved up, I got a MacBook, and it was one of the best decisions I made. Now, if I look back at time and I, put myself with this iPad, I could have easily had this iPad and made my way through college. I could have done everything I ever needed to do in such a slim and compact form factor. So I really think that this is great for students. So yeah, about going back to college, if I had this iPad with its size, with its capability, with its performance, with the Apple Pencil, and the ability to add a keyboard if you do need it. Now, I didn't add the keyboard because I'm enjoying using it just like this. This does everything I need to do, and I find myself using this iPad more and more and more. This is what I love about it. Just its perfect form factor and it's got enough real estate for me to work with. So if I was in college, this would be perfect for me. But obviously, if you need more power, maybe the iPad Pro. I'm not a student at the moment, but I could really see myself using this as a student. Now, real quickly, I also want to tell you about the screen of the iPad mini 6. Now, without diving too deep into the tech statistics of the screen, this is a 8.3-inch Liquid Retina display. It's an LED display. So is it OLED like the Pro iPads? No. Does it have ProMotion to where it can change its refresh rate low or high depending on what you're doing? No, it does not. But does that affect me personally or the usage of this iPad mini 6? I don't think so whatsoever. I personally haven't had a problem. I also don't care about ProMotion in my phone, so it's not a big issue for me. But if that is a big issue for you, then clearly this iPad mini 6 is not going to be for you. But if you were to ask my honest opinion, whether it's been watching videos, whether it's been reading articles, anything I have done on this iPad, it looks great and it looks perfectly fine. Like, I have no issue with it whatsoever. So if you're not too into the tech specs of your screen and what it should look like, you should be totally fine with the iPad mini 6. Now, by now you might be thinking, why hasn't this guy talked about the camera? That's simply because, honestly, I don't care about cameras when it comes to the iPad. Whether it's FaceTime or taking photos, I do that with my iPhone, and I just don't pay attention to the cameras on the iPad. Nonetheless, this has a 12 megapixel camera in the rear. It's a single camera. It's got a flash on the back too. And for the front, it's also 12 megapixel and at 1080p. Now, if you're on FaceTime or Zoom, is this camera going to blow you away? No, it is not. But will it get the job done? Yes, it will. It also has center stage. So if you set it on this desk and let's say I'm on a FaceTime call and I'm moving around in this office, it will follow me around, which is a nice feature to have. But like I said, when watching this, just keep in mind, I'm not big on iPad for the cameras. So that is just something that doesn't really matter all that much to me when it comes to how much I love this iPad. Now let's move on to battery life. This is something I really don't like talking about simply because your usage, my usage, we're two different people and use our devices in two different ways. Nonetheless, I have never been able to drain this iPad in a single day. This has a great battery and it lasts several days for me. I can usually go 3 to 4 days before I even want to charge this. So that's just my case scenario. Obviously, if you're using it more, I don't think that despite how much you might use it, I don't think that you could crush this in one day. It is definitely enough to get through in one day. So if you're really concerned about battery, despite the iPad mini 6's size, the battery life is not bad whatsoever. Now, last but not least, I want to talk about accessories because those do matter. There's a lot of you out there that are going to want to pair this up with a screen protector, etc. I simply got the Smart Folio cover. Reason being because I don't really take this any place where I have a concern of it getting damaged. Like I said, it's either here in my office, out and about at a coffee shop, or in my car. And those places, I think this cover does a good enough job. It keeps it covered, so I always set it down like this, and it keeps the back and front covered. I also like how when you open this right away, it wakes up the iPad and you use the Touch ID to unlock it. Now, last thing I like about this cover is the fact that it folds up and turns into a little stand for your iPad. My least favorite thing about this cover is right here. If you look on the back, there are all sorts of marks on here. This does pick up a lot of fingerprints and I do find myself constantly cleaning it. The reason I didn't clean it before this video is because I wanted to show you all these scuffs and marks and whatnot. But this is a great little cover. Now, underneath, I have a matte screen protector. Now, I know the entire world of YouTube is sponsored by Paperlike, but I am not. I don't use Paperlike. I actually just got this off of Amazon. It's a matte finish. So what I really like about this one is the fact that it helps reduce the glare. So regardless of which way you're looking at it, it really helps block out light. Now it does add a little slight distortion to the display itself, but it is not something that harms it in any way or affects my use in any case scenario. I will put a link for this down in the description below. Now the last accessory that I use with my iPad mini 6 is the Apple Pencil. Now, I've had it for a very long time, and I really think it's great if you're going to be taking notes or if you're going to be drawing on your iPad. Those are two things that I do, and they work. The Apple Pencil works great for that. Now, with this iPad, I just haven't had the need to use a keyboard. See, this for me is the in-between device that comes in between my 13 mini and my MacBook Pro. So when I do need a full-blown keyboard setup, I have my MacBook Pro, and when I don't even need this, I have my 13 mini. This really for me is that in-between perfect device that I can read on, I can check my files, I can draw on, I can watch videos on. It really works perfectly in that way. And so I can't really give you a keyboard recommendation, but I am pretty sure if you go out and search, you'll find one that is suitable for the iPad mini 6. All in all, the iPad mini 6 for me is that perfect device. I really think it's great for the 90% of us. Look, I know there's going to be that 10% that need the Pro iPad, whether it's for all the power that you need to edit photos or videos or drawing on Procreate or other apps. I just don't need it. When I had the iPad Pro, it was just sitting around. It was just sitting around, and I didn't find myself reaching for it because I had my computer. It was too big enough for me to really palm in my hand, be able to do those in-between things. This is that in-between device. Ever since I got the iPad mini 6, I have realized my love for the iPad to what it used to be. It's that in-between device, in between your phone and your MacBook or your desk setup that lets you do all the things that you want without all the hassle. It's really tough to explain, but I really love this device. It's very capable, and I think whether you're a parent, whether you're a student, this iPad mini 6 is definitely one to look at. I've had it for a long enough time to where I can really give myself the time to think of whether I even need a device like this. And I do, and it's great. If you have an iPad mini 6, comment down below and tell me all about it. If you have any questions that maybe I didn't answer, please also comment down below and let me know. Thank you so much for your time. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I really appreciate you watching. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.